Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of N-Scale Friday. I'm John and I have a box here from ExactRail that has some N-Scale stuff in it. Let's go over to the workbench and take a look. Okay, so we're here at the workbench now, and what we're looking at is a couple of Evans 5277 Boxcars. And the one here is the Ferdinand Railroad, number 156. And then, of course, everybody knows what CN is, Canadian National. This model comes in 6 different road names. 3 of those road names come in 4 different road numbers, and the other 3 come in 6 different road numbers. And the price for these models at the time of this recording is $27.99. And we're going to take a closer look at each one of these. Let's go with the blue one first. The paint on this model is about as good as it gets. I've scrutinized it with my magnifying visor on the highest setting and found that all the writing on this car is legible except for the tiniest writing inside the black squares over here. And also, something else worth mentioning is that this tack board on the door is a separately applied piece, which is pretty cool. The paint's thin enough that it's not obscuring any detail at all. Even the rivet details on the bottom of the door there come through real nicely. The end detail is also really nice. This, of course, is the brake end. The brake wheel is a separately applied piece, and even though the ladders are molded, they look separately applied. And then you can also see the brake chain detail is molded, but it's there. Looks really great. This car has an unpainted roof, and you'll see in a minute that the CN one has a painted roof. Now, as you can see, there's full brake rigging, which in N-Scale, this is pretty good. I don't usually see this level of detail in the brake gear on the bottom of an N-Scale car like this. And the other really great thing that they have going for them here are body-mounted microtrains couplers. That's a big deal because usually when you get N-Scale cars that don't have body-mounted microtrains couplers, it's a good idea to switch them to that for operational reasons. These are 70-ton trucks with 33-inch scale metal wheels. And that's a big deal because that's something else that I find myself doing, changing out wheel sets if something comes with plastic wheels. So this car has a lot going for it. Now I've brought in the CN car to demonstrate that this car has 100-ton trucks and 36-inch metal wheels. So even among the same prototype, they have different trucks and different size wheels, which really goes to the idea that ExactRail is trying to be as prototypically accurate as possible. Now both variants of trucks are ASF ride control trucks. And while I have these two in the picture, I want to mention that according to ExactRail's website, the Ferdinand Railroad car on the left there, the blue one, is good for the 1980s through the 1990s. And the Canadian National is good from 2009 through present day. So those are the eras you'd be looking at for these cars. Now we're working our way backwards with the CN car. Again, full brake rigging. Like I said before, these are 100-ton ASF ride control trucks, body-mounted microtrains 1015 couplers for better operations. Didn't mention it on the blue one, but that's a nailable wood floor. You know, this is detail that's under the model. Probably not even strictly necessary to have that kind of detail, but there it is. I mentioned before about the painted roof, contrasting that with the unpainted roof on the blue car. We have very similar end detail with a separately applied brake wheel, chain detail, and molded ladders and tack board. One of the other cool things I notice is that in between these corrugations here, you can see the little sort of rivet details. Well, it's not rivets, but there are indentations there. That gives it a really interesting look. And of course, the printing on this end is also all legible. And finally, looking at the side of this car, you can see that the paint and the printing is all excellent. You'll notice that it has conspicuity stripes. The blue one didn't have those. And you'll also notice that the molded door track looks almost like a separately applied piece, and the tack board on the door itself is a separately applied piece. Looks great. One other thing worth mentioning about the CN car is that I was able to read all the writing on it, even the tiniest stuff. So it never ceases to amaze me how good they're getting at printing tiny, tiny writing on these cars. So I think this is a very strong release from ExactRail. They're as good as what HO scale cars used to be, and that's saying something because this is N scale, and that's small. So good job, ExactRail. Join me next week and we'll take a look at the other stuff that was in the box. I'll see you then.